everybody, it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for a reading library books vlog. So this video I'm going to pick some books from the library and I'm going to read hopefully all of them, but some of them anyway, and it's a bit of a vlog, so we'll be talking about the experience. I will actually show you the library and we'll pick books out as we go. I have been meaning to do something along these sorts of lines for a while now and just haven't gotten around to it, haven't prioritized this video, but recently I watched a video from Chloe Reads Books, which was basically this same concept. And what she did is that she asked her patrons to come up with a list of prompts, which she then put into a bingo board and used that bingo board to select books from the library that she then read some of. So I thought that sounded like a lot of fun, so I did the same sort of thing. I went on Instagram and I put up a post asking for different suggestions for prompts, which I got from some lovely Instagram friends. So what I'm going to do is, today is the 29th of July. It is Monday. I'm actually not going to start this vlog until Thursday, but I'm going to go to the library today and pick the books, and then we'll start reading them on Thursday, and then it will carry through to next Thursday. So this Thursday coming we'll start, which is the 1st of August. We'll start on the 1st of August and we will finish on the 8th of August, and then the video will go up, hopefully, if I get it myself together, on the 10th of August. The reason for that is because it's the end of July. Got 2 days left of July. Do I? Yes. And July is the Australian Readathon, and I have got 2 books by Australian authors that fit in with that readathon that I need to finish. I'm in a little bit of a reading slump at the moment, unfortunately, so I haven't really been picking them up, but I want to give myself a couple of days to at least try and get them read. So I'm in the mood today to go to the library and select them and make the video, but I will start them in a few days so that I can finish off my July TBR, my Australian Readathon TBR. In August, it is also Pick-Pongathon, which I'm participating in, so hopefully some of these books will fit for that, but that's not really relevant to this particular vlog. That's just something I thought I'd mention. Obviously, I am going to link anyone that I talk about in the description below, so you can go and check them out. So please go and check Chloe out. She's fantastic, one of my good BookTube friends, and just an amazing content creator and lovely, lovely person. So I highly recommend, please go and subscribe to her channel, watch her videos, all those things. Pick-Pongathon is a readathon created by Crystal from Bond Book Reviews, another amazing BookTube friend of mine who is fantastic, who I love, and you should definitely go and subscribe to her channel as well. So she is linked down below as well. And like I said, anyone else that I mention is linked in the description below. So I have put together a bingo board based on the prompts that everyone gave, and I will show that to you now. So this is the bingo board here. In a week, I doubt that I'm going to read 9 books. Well, actually 8 books, because as you can see in the middle prompt is read in the library, which I should be able to do, so you'll see me doing that as well. But I don't think I'll read 8 books in a week, unless I pick like manga or novellas or something. So I'm aiming to get a bingo, but I'm also hoping that I will be able to find books that double up for some of the prompts as well, because it'd be great to be able to fill in the entire thing with like 3 or 4 books. So let's go through them now and I'll explain them, and then when we get to the library we can actually do them. So first of all, we have staff pick. So that is like a book that, you know, in the bookstore where someone's put like a little thing right up about it from one of the staff underneath the book. So something along those lines. I don't know that they do that in the library my closest library, but I'm sure that I can find like a staff pick selection, or even potentially just go up to a staff member and say, hi, I wonder if you can pick a book out for me. We'll see how we go with that one. Moving along the top row, book with an animal companion. Then we have book with flowers on the cover. Next row, starting at the far end again, a book you've never heard of. So I really like this one. I think this will be really fun because obviously there are many books that I would have heard of via BookTube or in various ways. So I'm excited to find a book that I haven't heard of. Then we have read in the library, a book on display. So yeah, that's probably fairly obvious. First book you see when you walk in, those are usually ones on display as well, so we'll see how we go with that one. A local author, so that's really fun as well because a local author will be a Tasmanian author. And then I added Hyped on BookTube, so that's kind of almost the opposite of a book you've never heard of. But yeah, so those are the books those are the prompts. Like I said, I'm going to potentially combine a few, so like Staff Pick and Hyped on BookTube might go together, or a local author might have an animal companion in the book or something like that. I'll probably pick 8 books, but like I said, I don't think I'll read them, so I'd like to be able to do some that will combine so that I can potentially black out the entire board, but definitely will be able to get a bingo because I should be able to get a bingo with just one book depending on how we go. But for example, if I go diagonally down, Staff Pick, Read in the Library, Hyped on BookTube, Read in the Library is a bingo, and I don't have to pick a book that I just need to read it in the library, so I think that should be doable. All the people who gave me these prompts are listed down below as well. I can't remember off the top of my head which prompt was from which person, so that's why I'm not going to list them now, but they're in the description, so please go check them out as well. They're either Instagram people or BookTube. I will include both if they have both, or just Instagram if they just have Instagram, if that makes sense, because I did it on Instagram. But yeah, that is the plan for today. So let's go to the library. Hello. Here I am at the library. I'm just outside, and I thought that I would stop and just say I'm about to go in. There has been, for the last few weeks, a bunch of books just behind the loans desk as you walk in, all on display. So it's probably going to be difficult for me to have like one book that's the first book I see, but I thought that I could go over there and, you know, look at all the books that are the first books I see and pick one out of that one. So yeah. That's the first plan. I just went for a little walk and stopped and got myself some juice, so thought I'd tell you that as well. But yeah, let's go in and see what we find. So this is literally the first book that I kind of clapped eyes on. The Year of the Locust by Terry Hayes. It looks like it's kind of a spy novel. Let's have a look at the bingo board and see what else we need to get. Hello. Hi, Pistachio. Pistachio down here having some loud meows, and then the sound in the background is the bread maker. Sorry about that, but it's just a matter of good timing to film today. So anyway, it is Friday. I said I was going to start this vlog, the official reading part of this vlog, yesterday, but I had a book left over from July that I wanted to finish yesterday, so we're starting today. So as I said to you guys before, I was going to get a book for every single one of the spaces that required a book. Obviously the middle space is Read in the Library, which I will do at some point in the next week. But I don't think that I'm going to read, well, in fact I know I won't read all 8 of the books that I have here in a week. So I'm going to focus on a bingo, and then we'll just see how we go. So the bingo board is the one that I showed you already. And what I've done is I've actually gone ahead and put little images of the books over the top of each space, so I'll show you that now. But I'm going to go through and show you all the books that I ended up and just give you a little kind of what they are. Alright, so first of all, starting from the top left hand corner, going across, down, etc. The first one we have there is Staff Pick. I talked to a librarian while I was down there, and she said that they don't have like a specific staff pick section, or they don't write little blurbs or anything to put next to the books. So any books that were sitting face out, she said were staff picks, because the staff had kind of like picked out those to show face out. So for staff picks, I ended up deciding to choose Flawless Girls by Anna Marie Macklemore. This is actually one of my anticipated releases for this year, for 2024. So I'm really hoping that I'll get to this one, but you'll see why in a minute. I don't know that I will, but anyway, so this one, yeah, like I said, this was published this year in 2024. Just see if it actually says any more than that. No, it just says copyright 2024, but it obviously came out a while enough ago for it to be in the library. So let me just read the blurb to you. The Solar Sisters are infamous in polite society, brazen and rebellious, but their grandmother also knows the standards that two young Latina ladies will be held to, so she secures them coveted places at the Alari House, a prominent finishing school. Younger sister Isla is back home within a day, but older sister Renata stays. When she returns months later, she's unfailingly pleasant, unnervingly polite, and Isla discovers possibly murderous. And the same night that Renata returns home, she vanishes. Isla re-enrolls at the Alari House, intent on finding out what happened to her sister. But the Alari House is as exacting as it is opulent. It won't give up its secrets easily, and neither will a mysterious, conniving girl who's either controlling the house or carrying out its deadly orders. Tautly written and evocative, this is a stunning YA novel by award-winning and critically acclaimed author Anna Marie Macklemore. So yeah, I think that it sounds really, really fun, really interesting. I'm excited to pick this one up. But like I said, I'll explain why in a minute. I'm not sure that I'll get to this one. Next up, we had a book with an animal companion. So for this one, I decided to go into the middle grade section because I knew that there'd be more likelihood of animal companions in there. And I picked up the first book in the Nick Blake and the Remarkables series, which is the Manifesto Property by Angie Thomas. And as you can see there's a little dog on this girl's shoulder. So I'm very much hoping that that dog is her animal companion. So this one says, it's not easy being a remarkable in the unremarkable world. Some things are cool, like getting a pet hellhound for your 12th birthday. Others not so much, like not being trusted to learn magic because you might use it to take revenge on an annoying neighbour. All Nick Blake wants is to be a powerful manifestor like her dad. But before she has a chance to convince him to teach her the gift, a series of shocking revelations and terrifying events launch Nick and two friends on a hunt for a powerful magic tool she's never heard of. So yeah, I think that sounds really fun. Another quite short book, which is good. Then we have a book with flowers on the cover. And for this one, I decided to go with The One We Fell in Love With by Paige Toon. So obviously I've heard of these two. I can't remember who I saw talk about this one, but I've seen a couple of people talk about it. And this one was a highly anticipated release for me, so I've been aware of that one. I haven't heard specifically about this particular book, but I've heard of Paige Toon before. I'm trying to think of who I've seen talk about Paige Toon as an author. I think Helen from Helen's Bookhaven has spoken about Paige Toon, and somebody else, but I can't think who. But anyway, I've heard of this author before, and as you can see, there are little flowers on the cover there. So I believe this is a romance. It says Phoebe is caught between a rock and a hard place. Settle down and get married or return to the French Alps to pursue her passion. Eliza is in love with someone who is no longer hers. In fact, he probably never was. And her dream of becoming a successful musician seems to be vanishing before her eyes. Rose is out of a job and out of a boyfriend. To make matters worse, she's been forced to move back in with her mother. But these very different girls have one thing in common. Angus, the one they fell in love with. So perhaps it's not a romance. Perhaps it's actually almost the opposite. Because it seems like maybe Angus might be like an ex for all of them, and that's how they end up finding each other, potentially. But also, so I think it's going to be like, yeah, a contemporary kind of book. I think that it'll probably be relatively quick as well. I usually fly through these sorts of books, and I think it sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Alright, next row, a book you've never heard of, and for this one I decided to go with Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh. So I've never heard of this one. I don't think I've heard the name Emily Tesh before. It's vaguely ringing a bell, but I don't know if that's just because I picked this book up. But yeah, definitely never heard of this one. I believe it's a sci-fi. The back says, all her life, Kia has trained for the day when she can avenge the destruction of planet Earth. Raised on Gaia Station alongside the last scraps of humanity, she is one of the best warriors of her generation. The sword of a dead planet. Then Command assigns her brother to certain death and relegates her to the nursery to bear sons, and she knows she must take humanity's revenge into her own hands. Alongside her brother's brilliant but sedacious friend and a lonely captive alien, Kerr must escape from everything she's ever known. If she succeeds, she will find a universe far more complicated than she was taught and far more wondrous than she could ever have imagined. Some Desperate Glory is a thrillingly told space opera about the wreckage of war, the family you find, and the path you must forge when every choice is stripped from you. It's a standalone novel as well. So, yeah. Sounds interesting. I'm a bit hit and miss with sci-fi, but we'll see how we go. Could be quite interesting. So, we'll see how we go with that one. But it does sound interesting and I'm looking forward to it. Middle of space, obviously read in the library. Then we have a book on display. And for this one, I ended up picking up another book that I haven't heard of, which is The Children on the Hill by Jennifer McMahon. And this is a horror. And it says, it's from the New York Times bestselling author of The Drowning Kind. I have heard of that one before. 1978. At a renowned treatment centre in picturesque Vermont, the brilliant psychiatrist Dr. Helen Hildreth is acclaimed for her compassionate work with the mentally ill. But when she's home with her cherished grandchildren, Violet and Eric, she's just Gran, teaching them how to take care of their pets, preparing them home-cooked meals, and providing them with care, attention, and love. Then one day, Gran brings home a child to stay with the family, Iris. Silent, hollow-eyed, skittish, and feral, does not behave like a normal girl. Still, Vi is thrilled to have a new playmate. She and Eric invite Iris to join their monster club, where they catalogue all kinds of monsters and dream up ways to defeat them. Before long, Iris begins to come out of her shell. She and Vi and Eric do everything together, ride their bicycles, go to the drive-in, meet at their clubhouse in secret to hunt monsters. Because as Vi explains, monsters are everywhere. 2019. Lizzie Shelley, the host of the popular podcast Monsters Among Us, is travelling to Vermont where a young girl has been abducted and a monster sighting has the town in an uproar. She's determined to hunt it down because Lizzie knows better than anyone that monsters are real, and one of them is her very own sister. So that sounds very interesting. This one is also not super long. 330 pages, which is not too bad. Then we have first book you see when you walk in. So when I walk into my library, there is, I think I showed you in the clip, you walk in and there's like rooms off to a side and the borrowing tables, and then you turn the corner and they often have books on display out there, and they have some books that are recent and they are for 7-day loan. So the first book that I saw that I clapped eyes on was The Year of the Locust, another book I haven't heard of by Terry Hayes. So as you can see, it's 7-day loan. This one says, if, like Kane, you're a denied access area spy for the CIA, then boundaries have no meaning. Your function is to go in, do whatever is required, and get out again, but by whatever means necessary. You know when to run, when to hide, and when to shoot. But some places don't play by the rules. Some places are too dangerous, even for a man of Kane's experience. The Badlands, where the borders of Pakistan, Iran, and Afghanistan meet, are such a place where violence is the only way to survive. Kane travels there to exfiltrate a man with vital information for the safety of the West. But instead, he meets an adversary who will take the world to the brink of extinction. A frightening, clever, vicious man with blood on his hands and vengeance in his heart. The Year of the Locust is a voyage to a far-off land to see something no one has ever seen before. A mission to prevent the future happening. An encounter with true evil. And, ultimately, a moment when Kane must make the decision to save his own life or someone else's. So I don't admit, this doesn't particularly sound like my kind of book, plus it's really quite chunky, and I have to read it now in 4 days because it's actually due back on Monday. So I don't know how I'm going to go with this one, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I mean, it does sound kind of intriguing, but that's not really my thing, but we'll see. Alright, next up we have a local author, and for this I decided to go with The Sparkle Pages by Meg Bignell. So when I was in the library, I did a bit of a search for Tasmanian authors, and Google says that Meg Bignell is a Tasmanian author, so hopefully that's true. So this one says, is marriage just a series of texts about where the children are and whether we need milk until one of you dies? Or should there be more sparkle? Susanna Parks, wife, mother, cleaner of surfaces and runner of household, is a viola virtuoso. Except she hasn't picked up a viola for over a decade. She has, however, picked up a lot of Lego, socks, wet towels and other exhibits of mundanity. She has also picked up on the possibility that her husband has lost interest in her, and frankly she's not very interested in Susanna Parks either. But this year has resolved to be very interesting, also thoughtful, useful, cheerful, relevant, self-sufficient, stylish, raunchy, alluring and intelligent. In her highly confidential diary, Susanna documents the search for the elusive spark in her marriage, along with all the high and low notes of life with her 4 beloved children, with her free-spirited and world-famous best friend Rhea, and with Hugh, the man who fills her heart with burning passion and her washing pile with shirts. And perhaps amid the chaos she might be brave enough to find the missing pieces of herself. So, another contemporary with a slightly older character, I assume. Don't know how old she is, but she's got 4 kids and whatnot, so... Oh, yeah, no, it says she lives with her family, this is the author, on a dairy farm on Tasmania's east coast. So yes, definitely Tasmanian author. Sounds like it could be a bit interesting, and we'll see how we go with that one. And then the final book that I picked up was for Hyped on BookTube. This is the prompt that I created. So I actually decided to go with Laura Olympus, Volume 1 by Rachel Smythe. So this one is a graphic novel, and it is a Hades and Persephone retelling. So here he says, witness what the gods do after dark in the stylish and contemporary reimagining of one of mythology's best known stories from creator Rachel Smythe. Persephone, young goddess of spring, is new to Olympus. Her mother, Demeter, has raised her in the mortal realm, but after Persephone promises to train as a sacred virgin, she's allowed to live in the fast-moving, glamorous world of the gods. When her roommate, Artemis, takes her to a party, her entire life changes. She ends up meeting Hades and feels an immediate spark with the charming yet misunderstood ruler of the underworld. Now Persephone must navigate the confusing politics and relationships that rule Olympus, while also figuring out her own place and her own power. But yeah, so I've heard amazing things about this one. People talk about this series basically all the time. So I thought it would work for this prompt. So, now, to talk about the whole bingo thing and why I kept saying, I don't know if I'll get to this one. So, it is actually Pick-Pongathon in August. One of the things that we had to do for my team, one of the prompts we got was a poll pick. So I put up a poll. Basically, I decided that I was going to focus on this one as the kind of beginning of my bingo. Effectively, because it's a graphic novel, I didn't think it would take very long to get through. And I also thought it might be fun to film, to read a book that was very popular on YouTube. So what I did with the prompt is I said that because where this is positioned right down the bottom, I decided to try and figure out which direction to go into which bingo I would make. So I put up a poll for either The Sparkle Pages, A Book on Display, or Staff Pick. But I did it via emojis, and the one that won was The Sparkle Pages. So that means, that means that I'm going along the bottom as my first attempt at bingo. So this week I'm going to attempt to read Laura Olympus Volume 1, The Sparkle Pages, this big chonker, The Year of the Locust. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, those are all the books I picked up in the library. Those are all the books that like I said, I was going to pick up books for each of the bingos, but I wasn't necessarily going to get the whole board, just try and get a bingo. So that's the thing I'm focusing on, the bottom line, and then we'll see how I go. Anyway, I'll talk to you when I have more to report.
So I've read the first 26 pages of this book, which is partway through chapter 8. They're very short chapters. And I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I had a suspicion I might not. So I don't know if I've just convinced myself that I don't want to read it because you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not really feeling it, and I'm feeling a little bit slumpy. I was feeling a little bit slumpy last week, but I kind of got over that. But I'm feeling a little bit slumpy. I'm just actually feeling really tired a lot, and I'm starting to feel kind of just blur. In general, I'm feeling big and heavy and less movable, and just I'm not feeling amazing at the minute. And I was just sitting here thinking about what to do because for some reason I feel bad about potentially DNFing this book. And I don't know why, because normally I'm like, oh, I'm not enjoying it, that's fine. I don't know if it's because it's for a vlog or if it's like 26 pages is not very far into it, especially when it's such a thick, chunky book. I haven't really given it a chance, but I'm worried it'll put me into a slump. So, like, I probably should not read it. I feel like it might not be the book for me that I will read for this vlog. But yeah, I just was sitting here thinking about that and thinking about like just feeling really kind of blur. I don't know. I'm feeling a bit down. And then I feel guilty about that because I'm like, finally got this thing that I wanted. Anyway, I think that I might go and have a lie down for a little bit and then see how I feel. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna DNF the book. I think realistically, I'm not gonna read it, and if it's gonna put me in a slump, then what's the point in that? I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I think it might have been yesterday, I did start a different book, which was okay. So I might pick that one up. But yeah, that's I think for now I need to just go and have a lie down and just chillax a bit. Anyhow, yeah, so thanks for, I don't know what I'm even talking about. My brain is just not, I definitely need to lie down. My brain is just not working. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow or potentially in a day or so. Well, here I am about to go and read in the library. I also need to return The Year of the Locust. As you know, I DNF'd. And the book that I have ended up deciding to, since I was not going to be doing that row for this vlog, I decided to start a new row. So I decided to start the one on the far right, left as you're looking at it. So I've decided to start the one that We Fell in Love With by Paige Toon. And I read the first 60 odd pages this morning. So I'm going to go and sit in the library and read that book now. And yeah, I thought I'd let you know that was the plan and what I was up to, what book I was up to and all those things. So I haven't finished a book for this vlog or for Pick-a-Pong-a-thon, but these things happen. Anyhow, yeah, I guess you'll see me in a minute as I do the reading.
Hi. So it is Wednesday, 7th of August, and I've actually decided that I'm going to extend this vlog for another week because I really need to read this book, and I have only read a very small amount of it. So yeah, I need to read that book by Saturday because we are having the live show for the book on Saturday. So I have got 3 days basically to read the book, within which time I also have an appointment in about half an hour, and which won't take very long, but then I'm also meeting my partner for lunch. I have an exercise class this evening that I'm going to. I have an appointment tomorrow morning. We have a vet appointment on Friday morning. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm not going to be able to get a bingo on this bingo board or at the same time as reading this book. So I think that that's what I'm going to do, because I really do want to get the bingo, because that's kind of what I set out to do. But I also need to read as much of this book as I possibly can by Saturday morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning for me on Saturday, which is like pretty early in the morning. So I'm not going to have any time on Saturday. So that's the new plan. I did finish The One We Fell in Love With by Page Toon last night or yesterday afternoon, and I did really enjoy that one. I haven't actually run it through Callpile yet, so I'm not sure what the rating will end up being, but it would be at least 3.5 if not 4 stars, because yeah, I had a really good time with it. It kind of reminded me, it's actually blurbed on the front cover by Marion Keyes, kind of reminded me of a Marion Keyes book. I really enjoy Marion Keyes as well. Yeah, it was just well written, and there was a thing in the middle, so you think you know what's going on, and then something gets revealed in the middle that's like, oh, okay. It's not like mystery or anything, but it's just, it does change the crux of the story and changes the motivation of people, and yeah, it does change the story quite a bit. And I just thought it was well written and fun, and yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. So as I said before, I've changed the bingo to going down the final column, like the vertical. So that means that the books that match those bingo spaces are, oh, the one I've read is the middle one, and then Laura Olympus, and then the Children on the Hill. So this is the next one I'm going to pick up for the blog, but I probably won't pick this up until Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, so that's how that's all going. In regards to how I'm feeling, I had a bit of a kind of complain about feeling really blur. I was just having a really emotional weekend. I think, again, it's hormones. But I'm also, like, we're getting closer and closer, and I'm also starting to get kind of nervous about, like, the actual having a baby. The birth, but also, like, a tiny human that relies entirely upon me. Although I'm more excited than I'm nervous, but still. So, yeah, so that was kind of what was going on, but also I'm just starting to feel more and more uncomfortable. My belly is getting bigger. I'm out of breath really easily, like just going and putting washing on gets me out of breath. So partly the out of breath is, it's all to do with like the uterus pushes all your organs out of the way, so I have less lung space to take to breathe, so I'm not getting as much oxygen around in my blood, but also the baby is taking my oxygen. So yeah, I just find myself really out of breath. I'm just like more and more uncomfortable. There's less and less space in here. And I was just feeling really, yeah, just feeling really kind of just blur. I've been feeling really tired. Just like, don't get me wrong, I'm incredibly happy to be pregnant and grateful that I'm pregnant, and you know, it's like amazing and everything, but the actual being pregnant is a bit hard. Like, yeah, just hard on my body and hard on my brain. But anyway, I'm feeling a lot better the last couple of days. I feel like I've kind of come to terms with like how uncomfortable I'm feeling and weird I'm feeling, and that's making me feel a bit better, if that makes sense. And Rowan's just been amazing. Like, he's so amazing. He's just very understanding and very reassuring, and you know, gives me the cuddles I need, and you know, gets me tea and you know, all that sort of stuff. So he's a very supportive person, which is amazing. So that's where we're at with this vlog. I'm gonna go now. And yeah, I'll talk to you.
Hello, it is Saturday afternoon, and I started reading The Children on the Hill not that long ago. I've read 30 pages, and I'm intrigued. I'm not really sure where this is going, but I mean, I'm only 30 pages in, so you wouldn't expect me to know exactly what was going on, but I am intrigued by it. So yeah, that's where I'm currently at. I did not finish The Empire of Gold in time for the live show this morning, but also I decided not to go on the live show anyway because it turns out that I have a cold. I'm feeling a lot better today, but yesterday and the day before I was feeling really out of it and tired and just blocked up and not very good. So yeah, that's kind of been going on, and I've been watching a lot of Buffy. Excuse all that noise in the background. That is Rowan doing some woodworking, and I decided to stop rather than trying to talk over it. So that was just Rowan doing some woodworking. He was using a vacuum cleaner to, like, as a dust collector. The saw dust collector. Anyway, yeah. So I've been watching a lot of Buffy because I haven't been feeling all that much like reading. Breathing has been a little tricky because my nose has been so blocked. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better today, and Thursday and Friday I basically just spent the days on the couch watching Buffy and lying around. So feeling a little bit better today. Still don't feel 100%, but definitely feel better. And yeah. So I started this book today. I don't know, obviously, how far I'll get into it. It's reading reasonably fast. It's 300 and something pages long. So I'm intrigued to see what this is going to be about. But yeah, I'll catch up with you some point. It is Monday, and I am about 2/3 of the way through The Children on the Hill. I am really enjoying it. It is psychological thriller / horror, maybe. All the signs point to a certain thing being the case, but I think that either it's going to be slightly different and more shocking than what you think, or that the author is cleverly manipulating it to look like that is what it'll be, but then it'll end up being what it actually looks like it is, if that makes any sense. But I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, it's psychological kind of horror thriller. There's a lot to unpack, and I'm excited to see the end. So this one's really successful. I am getting a lot out of this one and enjoying it. So it is Monday, like I said, it's nearly midday. I've got just over an hour and a half until I need to go and do some our cleaner. We have a cleaner. Yes, I am that person. And our cleaner is coming at 1:30. So I need to be out of here by then. So yeah, got like just over an hour and a half. But I'll probably have lunch before I go rather than buying it. Does that make sense? And I've got like heaps of leftovers from dinner last night. No, that won't take very long. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably in about 40 minutes have lunch and then kind of get myself ready to go. So I'll read for another like 40 minutes or so. I don't know how much I'll get read. I definitely won't finish the book because I've got over 100 pages. About 120 pages left to read. I'd love to be able to finish this today, but I don't know what my chances are. But my plan is to read, like I said, for another 40 minutes and then leave, go for a bit of a walk, probably go to a cafe, get a coffee and read for a bit, and then do some shopping and then come home when the cleaner is done. And then I don't know how, I've been feeling like I need to nap in the afternoons pretty much, or lie down at least. So if I'm feeling like I can lie down and read, which I have been doing, then I'll do that. But anyway, when I go for my walk, I'll probably listen to a book that is not on this for this vlog, but I will probably read this book when I get to the cafe. Anyway, I just thought I'd update you and tell you that I'm suspicious of where this book is leading us, and that I don't think that's going to be where it will end up, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to go, and I'll talk to you later.
Hello. It is Tuesday morning, and I did finish The Children on the Hill yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. The thing that I said that I was pretty sure was I had figured out, but it was like what was actually going on was a bit different than what you're led to believe. When I was reading it yesterday, I did suddenly have a moment of like thinking something entirely different, but it just didn't feel quite like that was likely. So what I initially thought was true, but it still paid off really well. It wasn't like it was true and therefore obvious and therefore ruined the experience for me, because like I said, it was what was actually going on and the motivation behind certain behaviors and character experiences were different. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this one. I thought that it was really well done. We swapped between the present and the past, and we swapped between two different main perspectives, Lizzie and Vi, and you're not really sure the identity of either one throughout the story. And we also have excerpts from the Book of Monsters, which is a book that the kids were writing when they were kids. And then you also have some excerpts from a book that was written about mental health institution that the children's grandmother worked in. There are definite trigger warnings for this. I would definitely say be careful if, just be careful. Make sure you read trigger warnings. I would say that child abuse, questionable psychiatric practices is something you might want to think about, whether they might be triggers. But I thought it was really well done and I really enjoyed it. So that's that one. It is now time for me to move on to Lore Olympus, which is a graphic novel retelling of Hades and Persephone. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I was going to say almost nothing but good things about this book. I did watch a video by Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts, and she talked about the prevalence currently of there being Hades and Persephone's retellings, and the fact that Hades kidnapped Persephone, and that having their story be a romance is kind of weird. And she talked about this book in particular because some of the things that happen in this book is done in such a way that it's a bit like, yeah, but you were using a myth that already had sexual assault and kidnapping in it, and yet you didn't use the characters. So I'm a little bit unsure about this book, but I have heard nothing but good things about it. And even Jean, when she was talking about it, said that it's a good book. Like, it's fun, it's well done, but it's just a little bit, she felt it was a little bit odd, some of the choices that were made. But anyway, I'm excited, but also a bit nervous. I'm also kind of nervous because, as you guys know, I don't read a lot of graphic novels. Just having a flip through though, there does not seem to be a huge amount of text. So I was going to say, I don't know how long it'll take me to read this, because I know that most people consider graphic novels to be very short, quick reads. And I probably definitely think that they're quick reads, like quicker than a novel. This is, hopefully it does not have page count. It's quite a thick one, but like I said, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of text in there. So I think most people would find this would be like maybe half an hour read. I'm thinking it's probably going to take me an hour, just because I'm not as practiced at reading graphic novels, and I have in the past tended to kind of look at the text and not the images, which means I actually miss a lot of what's going on. So I'm trying to slow it down a little bit so that I make sure that I'm looking at the images. But anyway, I don't think it'll take super long to read this book. I have decided that, I know I said in an update, maybe the second last update, I can't remember. I said in an update some time ago that I was going to extend it by a week. I've changed my mind yet again. I have obviously extended it because it didn't go up on the weekend, and it's Tuesday, but I'm going to extend it till tomorrow. Basically because I have a bunch of other books that I need to read for this month's TBR. I have a vlog that I'm working on that I'd like to read the books for. I've just got a bunch of different things that I want to read that aren't necessarily part of this vlog. And although I obviously have quite a few books that I got for each of the different prompts on the bingo board, I always said that I didn't think I was going to complete the bingo board, and I was probably going to just try and get a bingo. Reading this will give me that bingo down the side there, so I'll have read 3 books for the 3 prompts. I'm going to keep this bingo board and potentially use it again for another video, another similar vlog. We'll see how we go. I also did read in the library, which is in the middle, which will end up not getting me any other bingos, which is fine. Perhaps I'll do this bingo board as a month-long vlog without using my TBR game or something like that. I don't know. I'll see how we go. But anyway, I'm going to put this up tomorrow, and then that way I can move on and pick up some other things for the other vlog that I'm working on, for Pig Pongathon, etc. But yeah, I'm going to go now and read this one. I'll come back and talk to you when I'm done, because like I said, I don't know how long it'll take. Probably an hour, I would imagine, but maybe less, because it's actually not, like, there's only so long that you can look at an image. So we will see. Alright, I'll be back. Hello. It is a couple of hours later and I have finished Lore Olympus Volume 1. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really well done. I really love the art style. I love the colour palette. It's very pretty. Very much my colour palette. Purples and pinks and blues. And yeah, I thought it was really well done. I found the part with the sexual assault. I didn't realise it was on page. So trigger warning for that. I am definitely intrigued to pick up the next volume. I think there are 5, maybe 6 volumes out now, but I also can read it on Webtoon. So we'll see which one I end up deciding to do. I'm definitely keen to pick this one up, pick it up and read more. Don't know when I'll get around to doing that, but anyway. So yeah, I think it's really fun. I think it's really well written and I love the colours, like I said, and the drawings. It's very simple, but it does pack a punch, particularly that scene. It's interesting to see the way that the different gods are represented, and I didn't love the way that Persephone was presented as being very naive, but, well, I didn't love that for her, but I mean, I can definitely see why it was done that way. But I like at the end, she does kind of stand up for herself a bit with that, so that's really well done. And yeah, I'm definitely glad I read it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I get what the hype is about. So yeah, that is my library bingo board vlog challenge. Like I said, I got the 1 bingo. I am going to finish up here. That's everything from me for this vlog. Let me know in the comments below, did you enjoy the vlog? What you thought of it? Have you read any of the books that I read for the vlog? Have you enjoyed them? Have you not enjoyed them? Let me know if this is the kind of video that you'd like me to make again. Like I said, I've got that bingo board still. I can try and get a blackout or get another bingo or whatever. So let me know if that's something you'd like to see more of on my channel. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me a horse, because we have a horse on the cover of that book, Lore Olympus. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.